Hi guys, welcome back to another video. It is just me today. This is just going to be a talking video, so I hope that's not too boring for you. I did plan on, when we got to Disneyland Paris, I planned on vlogging it properly. It didn't happen, so then I thought maybe I'll do themed vlogs instead. And I was going to do just a Compass Club or Newport Bay vlog. Again, that didn't happen. I didn't end up filming anything, so I thought I'll just talk about it instead, because I feel like we should talk about, you know, how we found Newport Bay, how we found Compass Club, because, you know, I didn't find a great deal of information about it on YouTube when we had done it, so I thought it was quite nice to just come on here. You might find it interesting if you're thinking about booking it, or if you have booked it. If you don't like talking vlogs, then this won't be for you. Sorry, Ava, you might not want to watch this one. She says I'm boring when I just keep chatting. So, but yeah, so we stayed in Newport Bay for the first time. I've been desperate to stay at this hotel because I love the theming of it. It's a very stunning hotel at the end of the lake. I want to say now, am I in a rush to go back? I don't think so. I didn't dislike the hotel. I think I liked Sequoia Lodge better. Can't quite put my finger on why. I think it is because, so I love the nautical theme, and I wouldn't normally be like a sort of lodge type person, like Sequoia Lodge, you know, is themed around that sort of style, or that sort of holiday wouldn't be my sort of thing. But I don't know if it's just because when you walk in Sequoia Lodge, you're like, oh wow, like it feels really different, whereas maybe Newport Bay just feels like a normal hotel. That's the only thing that I can think of, because I do love the whole nautical theme as well. I love the rooms. The rooms in Newport Bay are probably look nicer. I didn't mind the rooms in Sequoia Lodge, but I love how they have the Mickey headboard in the rooms. Yeah, so that's cute. It is, I'm sure she said when we checked in that it's the biggest hotel in Europe. I'm sure she said Europe and not just France. I think that hotel is much bigger than you realise. I know people have said before that sometimes their room has been such a long walkway. So when I checked in online, there's a few things that you can tick that you request. So when we stayed in Sequoia Lodge, I requested to be close to reception, I think. And I think we weren't too far away. That was just so we weren't, again, too far. And then this time I requested to be by the lifts, because it seemed like we were already high up. We hadn't paid for a Lakeview room, so I couldn't request anything like that. And actually we were right next door to the lift. We literally got out the room, or out of the lift, sorry, and our room was right next door. You could hear the lift, but actually by like really late at night it all stopped. No one was using them, so it was fine. It didn't bother us. But yeah, so we didn't have a long walk, obviously. As soon as you come out the lift, you're pretty much near, you know, reception is there, the Compass Club reception and lounge were there, the character was there, the shop. You just go downstairs to get out of the hotel and go to the parks. So we didn't have that long walk like some people have said, but I have heard that is a bit of an issue. Some people don't like that with this hotel, that you get to your hotel, but then you've still got a while before you actually get to your room. So, but that might be a thing if you are staying in Newport Bay, maybe request to be near a lift, because then you shouldn't have that long walk. Obviously, it's only a request, it might not happen, but at least you've requested it, and it may do. So but yeah, one of the things I really loved about this hotel was the character timings. They came out, so they now come out twice at Newport Bay, 3:30 and 6:30. From what I could tell though, the characters were out pretty much the whole time. Like, I don't know what time they do actually go in before coming out again at 6:30. But I remember Donald still being there at about 5 on our first day, and then we come down at 6:30 and met Donald again. So I think it's always the same character that's comes, you know, so if you've done it at 3:30, don't hang around for 6:30, because it will probably I'm pretty sure it's the same character. We had Donald on one day, Daisy the next day, and then it was Daisy again, which I was surprised about. But yeah, being in the afternoon just made it really much easier to be able to meet the characters, because at Sequoia it was in the morning, and obviously if you want to try and head for your extra magic hour, then you haven't got time to be seeing a character. It might depend as well how long you're there for. We were only there for 2 nights on both of these trips, so we wanted to do extra magic time as much as we could last year, and actually even forgot to see who the character was apart from one day. But this time, because we liked to go back to the hotel anyway in the afternoon, it was perfect. One day we went down at 6:30, then went straight out to the park. Another day we just got back to the hotel at about 3:30, and so when I met the character, then went up to the room and got changed for swimming and things. And then on the last day we come back because we were having to leave, so we could have met the character then, because it was Daisy again, we didn't bother. And it's nice because they're in their Newport Bay outfits, which I do think are really cute. So yeah, apart from that, I think everything else is going to be Compass Club related, because even our room was a Compass Club room. So yeah, would I book Compass Club again? I think again, probably not, which I'm quite glad about, because I was a little bit worried that we were going to be spoilt having Compass Club, and that every time I then go, I'm going to want club level. But luckily, I wasn't wowed by it. I don't think we got the most out of it either. So the perks of Compass Club, the first one as you arrive at the hotel is your Compass Club check-in desk. It's a separate room to the reception where all the other guests go. Whenever I have seen this on YouTube, like Sound for God and that, it looks like you pretty much turn up, there's never a queue, you check in straight away. And then that wasn't the case for us. We turned up, there was already 2 people in front of us. And it takes a while to check in, even if you've done it online already, because they go through everything with you. So it was a little bit of a wait. So yeah, we did wait a little bit before we could even check in, which when you've just arrived at Disney and you're literally, you can go in that day, it's a bit annoying because you just want to get on and get into the parks. So yeah, that took a while, but it's quite nice. You go in, you can sit down at the desk, the ladies were lovely in there, and then also they take your luggage from you at that point, which is quite nice, and then it's gets taken to your room. So but the only thing is, when we got into our room, there was no luggage, and it was, I think, about 5 o'clock. So I thought, I feel like we should have the luggage here now. So I had to ask for it, and then it did come straight away. We also did have to go and ask for our room number, because we didn't get the text to say what room number we were. That also did happen to me last year though at Sequoia Lodge. So to be honest, I wasn't expecting to get a text, because I just thought, I didn't get one last year, I don't think I'll get one. I didn't. So I had to go back to the Compass Club reception again. She gave me the room number, validated my card. So then later on I had to take the other 3 cards down to be validated as well, so that they would let you in. So I think even if we had got a text to say, this is your room number, we would have gone straight to it. And then I think our cards wouldn't have even worked because they weren't validated. But that wasn't quite explained to us. She did say, I'll see if I can validate them now. And she said, oh no, I can't. But she didn't explain kind of what that meant. Because when we went to Sequoia Lodge last year, because we didn't have the physical magic pass and I was using my phone, we just had a plain like key card that we used for the room. So that must have already just been ready, because she didn't do nothing with that when I did go and ask for the room number. So, but yeah, so we had to do that, went up into the room, and then I said, oh, the luggage isn't here. But then I just went down, asked for that, validated the others, and the luggage came pretty much straight away after asking as well. So it wasn't the end of the world, but yeah. We also then, so for the rooms are slightly different. I don't know if they're bigger. I'm not sure on that, but bearing in mind we were 3 adults and 1 tween in a room, 2 double beds, I felt like there was plenty of room. I never felt like we were squished. There was a lot of space, a lot of storage space. We were only there for 2 nights, so obviously we didn't have loads of luggage, but there was plenty of stuff for us all to put our things. Plenty of places to put your suitcases as well when you weren't using them. A massive TV, beds were comfy. Even though we were right by the lift, I didn't find it noisy. We didn't have the best view, but like I say, we didn't pay for lake view, so I wasn't really expecting it, and to be honest, it didn't matter. We didn't really look out the window. We weren't actually in the room very much at all, to be fair. You have the brown like headboards in there rather than the white in the other rooms. And you get a fridge in Compass Club, which again, actually, we didn't use. I thought that might be quite handy with it being hot, that we might want to put some drinks in there, but we didn't. So yeah, I wouldn't miss it if we didn't have a fridge. We also had the robes. We had 2 robes and 2 pairs of slippers. Again, bearing in mind we were 3 adults, so I could have said, can we get one more? But actually, again, didn't use them. You probably could put the robes on and go down to swim in, but we didn't. They were quite thick, so it was a bit too warm to wear them. My dad did wear the slippers though, and he said they were nice. But yeah, again, I thought that was going to be a nice little perk, but it didn't bother me. So it's not something that I'd want or be bothered about again in the future. What else I think there was a few little like bits in the bathroom, like a toothbrush, and a comb. Ava, I think, took the comb. I think she's still got that somewhere. Yeah, in like the bathroom. I don't believe you get that in the normal rooms. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the normal rooms have a coffee machine and that now, so I don't think that was the same. We had water in the room, which I thought we used it on the first day, and I thought that was going to get refilled, which it didn't. Probably could have asked, but we did have some water, so we didn't really need it. But yeah, so nice room, but I think we'd have been happy with the rooms if it was the normal Newport Bay rooms. But yeah, and then the other perk is you get the Compass Club lounge, so you can have your breakfast in here. So breakfast is included with Compass Club. Another reason why we booked it, because I knew my mum and dad would like to have breakfast. Me and Ava tend to find breakfast slows us down a bit in the morning, so we quite like to just grab and go, whether that's something we've taken, whether it's something we get there. We like to grab and go, especially on a short trip, so that we can just get straight into the park and make use of the extra magic time. Otherwise it's just a real struggle to get up, get ready, get to breakfast, get to the parks. Obviously my mum and dad weren't too fussed about that, so me and Ava would go to breakfast and then go straight to the parks, where they'd go back to the room. So yeah, I think again, me and Ava don't necessarily need to do breakfast. If we were staying for a bit longer, maybe we could do it on one day, on a day that we want to be more chilled. But it was quite nice being in that little room. We had the same table both days, so I don't know if that's what they do or we just happened to have the same table. The staff were lovely. They brought you hot drinks or filled up orange juice and apple juice if you wanted it, and then you went and helped yourself to food. Lots and lots of food to choose from. There was hot food, and you had beans, bacon, sausages, vegan sausages, mushrooms, and then you could get toast, you could get croissants, pan of chocolates, which were massive, donuts, Mickey waffles as well, and crepes, like little cakes. There was so much stuff. Like, I'm sure there was oatmeal as well, like everything you could probably think of, cereal. There was loads of stuff. They even had smoothies on the side as well that you could try and help yourself to. So yeah, the breakfast was amazing. Obviously I can't compare to the normal Newport Bay breakfast and the room, because we've never done it. It's supposed to be quieter in the Compass Club room. It was never really busy in there, so it probably was nicer. But yeah, breakfast was brilliant, to be honest. And And then you can go in there between 12 p.m. and 10 p.m. just to get drinks, so hot drinks or soft drinks. And then you can also go, if you get in there between 3:30 and 5, they call it afternoon tea. So there's like little snack things. Again, me and Ava only went in there on the first day. We didn't go in there on the second day. And then the day you leave, you can't go in there after checkout time. You can't use it. So again, we didn't make the most of that. That is mainly because we did have a buffet at 1 o'clock. And like I say, the food was at 3:30, so we wasn't hungry, but I wasn't even thirsty for like a Coke or anything, because I was just too full. I didn't even want fizzy. So me and Ava didn't even go in there. My mum and dad did go in and get a hot drink. The hot drinks as well, I'll put pictures up, did have like nice pictures on the on top, which was really cute. Yeah, me and Ava just had like Coke on the first day. And they did have some savoury snacks, but none of them appealed to me. And then they had quite a lot of sweet snacks, which what I had was really nice. There was like mousses. There was, I'll put a picture up of this because I do have a picture of like the little boat with Newport Bay on. That was nice, and I thought it was a nice little, you know, thing to have when you're there. So yeah, they were nice. But again, I think even if me and Ava hadn't eaten, and you know, we would go in there and eat, but I don't think I still don't think it's maybe overly worth it for us, because I don't think either of us touched the savoury food, and there's only so much sweet stuff you can have, isn't there? Like I've got a sweet tooth. I love chocolate. I love sweet things, but you know, you have a couple of things and then you're sort of like, oh, I can't eat no more. So yeah, again, I don't think it's something that we would need. And then also, like, it kind of stopped me from having many snacks in the park, because we just never really needed anything. And there was a couple of things that were on my list to have, and I didn't have them because I just didn't fancy. Again, they were sweet stuff, and I just didn't fancy any more sweet food. So yeah. So again, it's really lovely. I think 3:30 till 5. I kind of wish maybe it was a slightly longer gap for the food. But yeah, it was nice. But I just think for us, we wouldn't need it in the future. But I think it was nice we did it because, like I say, my mum and dad were there. It sort of made us slow down a bit sometimes and go in there and have all that. Whereas sometimes I think me and Ava are just on the go constantly, which is how we like to do it. We do like to have a break, but when we're there for a short time, we like want to get things done. So I think it was nice we did it with them and did it for my birthday, because it felt like an extra sort of special treat. The only other issue as well we had was on the first day when we went into the Compass Club lounge, I went to reception to ask about the room. My mum, dad and Ava went to the lounge, and because I was the lead booker, when they gave in them, or when my mum, I think, gave in her magic pass, they said, oh, that's not the name on the booking, because I have a different name to them. So, but obviously they're on the booking. They had their magic pass that says, I've got mine here, our magic passes say Compass Club. So you'd think if they have their magic pass that says Compass Club, you know, that's proof that they are Compass Club. I know technically maybe they could have taken that from someone else, but why didn't they have all the names on their list rather than just mine? Because, you know, they were on the booking, their names were on the booking and their names were on their cards. So that just seemed a bit silly, because it just meant almost like, were they not allowed to go in without me then? My mum did then show Ava's card, which then has the same surname as me, and then they went, oh, okay, and let them in. And obviously I was only not far away. They could have come and asked me, and I could have gone, or they could have waited for me, or I could have given them my magic pass, which is what I did the next day. But yeah, it just seemed a bit silly. Maybe if they have people with different names on the booking, then they should have them written down as well. But again, it wasn't the end of the world, but it was just one of them things that was a bit a bit strange. I think that is all the perks. So the only other thing to discuss is that when we, on our last day, again, it's lovely that you can leave your luggage in your room. You have to call down to them and say, we're leaving the room, we're leaving the luggage, we're all done. So then they know that they can come and collect it. So we did that. Me and Ava had actually already gone. My mum and dad went back into the room, then they called down and said, we're leaving our luggage. And then when we went back to the hotel to collect it, I didn't know. So I just followed the signs for the luggage room because that's where I assumed that they would be. And that's when I realised how big the hotel really is, because I had to walk all the way down to where the conference room is. It was a really long walk down there. And then I said to them, I'm collecting luggage, and they asked for my, you know, when you normally would put your luggage in, you get like a little ticket thing. He said, oh, have you got your ticket? And I said, no, because we're Compass Club, so we left it in the room. He said, oh, Compass Club, have to collect it from Compass Club reception. So we walked all the way back again, went to the reception and said, we just want to get our luggage. And then she said, oh no, it's outside. So just outside of the hotel, at the front of the hotel. So I said to her, well, if we go outside and get our luggage, if we want to come back in, will we have to go through security again? And she said, yes. So then I was like, oh, okay, we'll just wait for a bit, because I didn't really want to do that. There was usually a queue for the security. So I didn't really want to get our luggage, have to put it all through security again and get in just for a few minutes. So we like went in the shop, we used the toilets and, you know, bits like that, sort of hung around a bit. Then we said, right, let's go and get the luggage. We went outside. We couldn't find anyone to ask for our luggage. There wasn't anyone around. We were sort of walking all around and we could see luggage. We couldn't see our luggage. So I ended up going back inside and saying to her, or saying to another one of the girls actually, we can't find our luggage. So I went out there to ask. So then she called someone and said, someone's going to go back out and wait. Someone will come in a minute. I stood outside, waited for ages before someone eventually came over and said, are you okay? So it wasn't the person that, you know, had said they were going to come. And I said, we just need our luggage. So I then stupidly gave the wrong room number as well. So he was gone for a little bit, which was probably my fault. But then luckily he walked around the corner with all our luggage, because I was starting to panic a little bit. And also I was starting to look at the time thinking we need to get going. Like, we had loads of time. We ended up leaving the park much earlier than I originally planned, just because we were hot. There was nothing else really we wanted to do at that point. So we were like, we might as well just go back to the hotel. I was thinking maybe there'll be a character we want to meet, but then we didn't. But yeah, and then we did end up with an issue getting back, that we got stuck on the RER. So if we'd have been that bit earlier with our luggage, maybe we would have made our Eurostar, which we missed. It was fine. Eurostar put us on the next one. But yeah, that was just a bit stressful, because, you know, when you've got to go home and you've got to catch a train that night, and then you're just like, where's the luggage? Hope we get the luggage back, especially when you've got other people with you that are saying, where's our luggage? And then also, yeah, just the timings as well. You're just like, come on, we really need to go. Whereas if the luggage had just been in the normal luggage room, we would have had it by then. So yeah. Again, no one's fault exactly, but it was just like, where were they? Yeah, I don't know. I ummed and ahed before we went about booking Disney Express. So if you don't know what that is, you can, if you're arriving by any type of train, you can take your luggage to, it's actually in the main train station, like not the RER bit, in the train station, and you can like do your check-in there, probably get your magic passes. I'm not really sure, because you can use it on your phone, so I don't know exactly how that works, but you leave your luggage and then you can just go straight to the park and then walk to the hotel when you're ready, and then get your luggage from the hotel. And then the same going back, you could leave your luggage at the hotel and then go and pick it up at the train station, so you don't need to go back to the hotel. But then my thinking was, because we had one of the perks of Compass Club was, you know, the dedicated check-in area. I thought, oh, you know, we've paid for this, do we really want to not use that? Because we wouldn't have used it if we'd have done Disney Express. So I was like, oh no, we won't bother. We'll go to the hotel and check in, because, you know, we want to do that. Because there was a queue, I'm now kind of like, I'm not sure I would have bothered. And then also the other thing I couldn't work out and couldn't find the answer to was whether our luggage would still end up in our room and we could still leave it in our room for Disney Express. I wasn't really sure whether we could or not. But I think in the future I would rather pay for that. It would be a lot cheaper, just do that. Yeah. So now we've done it, I would just do Disney Express. But, you know, am I glad we still booked it? Yes, because we wouldn't know now what it's like, and I've always looked at it and thought, I'm not saying I wouldn't do it again, and I wouldn't try it at maybe Sequoia Lodge and do the Golden Forest, you know, if it was an option money-wise. I'm not saying it was awful. I just think in general it wasn't maybe worth it for all of us. It maybe wasn't worth it. It wouldn't be worth it for just me and Ava on our trips. But like I say, I'm glad, because I was worried that I'd want it every time. So I'm quite glad that I didn't love it, because now I'm just happy to just book normally. And I can't say that I felt any extra special it being Compass Club level. I don't know. But yeah, but I'm really glad we stayed there, because it's where I've been wanting to stay. It's another hotel ticked off the list. We are trying to make our way around them all. So next time we will hopefully be staying in another different hotel that we haven't stayed in before. So make sure you subscribe to see any of those videos coming up next year. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have any more questions, if there's anything I've forgotten to mention about the hotel or about Compass Club, feel free to message me on here in the comments or on our Instagram, and I'm happy to answer any questions about it. Don't let it put you off staying in Newport Bay. You might love it. I think I just didn't love it as much as I thought I maybe would, but I don't regret staying there, and I would stay again. All the Disney hotels are nice. I like Santa Fe, and that's the cheapest one, so I think you just got to go with what is right for you. But yeah, and we are now, so out of the, is it 6 hotels? Yeah, we've stayed in 3 of them, so we're halfway through. We've just got Marvel, Cheyenne and the Disneyland Hotel, which would be amazing, but I'm not sure when that's going to happen just because of the cost. But yeah, one day we will do them all. But yeah, thanks guys, I will see you soon. Bye.